"Next time I climb this tree, I'll wear my swimsuit," said Rick, trying to wipe himself dry. "Really, I think somebody ought to stop Dame Washalot pouring her water away like that. How disgusting!" "Oh, you'll soon get used to it and dodge the water easily," said Joe. On they all went up the tree again, and at last came almost to the top. There they saw a door in the trunk of the tree, and from behind the door came the sound of voices. "That's Moonface and the old saucepan man," said Joe, and he banged on the door. It flew open and Moonface looked out. His big round face beamed with smiles when he saw who his visitors were. "Hello, hello, hello," he said. "Come on in, the saucepan man is here." Everyone went into Moonface's curious round room. There was a large hole in the middle of it, which was the beginning of the slippery slip, the wonderful slide that went round and round down the inside of the tree, right to the bottom. Moonface's furniture was arranged round the inside of the tree trunk, and it was all curved to fit the curve of the tree. His bed was curved, the chairs were curved, the sofa and the stove. It was very odd. Rick stared at it all in great surprise. He really felt as if he must be in a dream. There was somebody very peculiar sitting on the sofa. It was the old saucepan man. He really was a very curious sight. He was covered with saucepans and kettles, and he wore a saucepan for a hat. You could hardly see anything of him except his face, hands, and feet, because he was so covered with saucepans and things. He made a tremendous clatter whenever he moved. "Who's that?" he said, looking at Rick. "This is Rick," said Joe, and Rick went forward to shake hands. The saucepan man was very deaf, though he did sometimes hear quite well, but he nearly always heard everything wrong, and sometimes he was very funny. "Chick," he said. "Well, that's a funny name for a boy." "Not Chick, but Rick," shouted Moonface. "Stick," said the saucepan man, shaking hands. "Good morning, Stick. I hope you are well." Rick giggled. Moonface got ready to shout again, but Silky quickly handed him her big bag of pop cakes. "Don't get angry with him," she said. "Look, let's all have some pop cakes. They are freshly made today. And oh, Moonface, do tell us, what land is at the top of the Faraway tree today?" "The land of Topsy-Turvy," said Moonface, "but I don't advise you go there. It's very uncomfortable." "Oh, yes, let's," cried Rick. "Can't we just peep at it?" "We'll see," said Joe, giving him a pop cake. "Eat this, Rick." Pop cakes were lovely. Rick put one in his mouth and bit into it. It went pop at once, and he found his mouth full of sweet honey from the middle of the cake. "Delicious," he said. "I'll have another." "Oh, Joe, please let us take our lunch up into the land of Topsy-Turvy. Oh, please, please, please." Chapter 3. The Land of Topsy-Turvy. "What is Topsy-Turvy land like?" asked Joe, taking another pop cake. "Never been there," said Moonface, "but I should think it's quite safe, really. It's only just come there, so it should stay for a while. We could go up and see what it's like and come down again if we don't like it. Silky Saucepan and I will come with you if you like." Moonface turned to the saucepan man, who was enjoying his 5th pop cake. "Saucepan, we're going up the ladder," he said. "Are you coming?" "Humming?" said Saucepan, looking all around as if he thought there might be bees around. "No, I didn't hear any humming." "I said, are you coming?" said Moonface. "Oh, coming," said Saucepan. "Of course I'm coming. Are we going to take our lunch?" "Yes," said Moonface, going to a curved door that opened onto a tiny cupboard. "I'll see what I've got. Tomatoes, plums, ginger snaps, lemonade. I'll bring them all." He put them into the basket, then they all went out of the funny curved room onto the big branch outside. Moonface shut his door. Joe led the way up to the very top of the faraway tree. Then suddenly Rick gave a shout of astonishment. "Look!" he cried. "There's an enormous white cloud above and around us. Isn't it mysterious?" Sure enough, a huge white cloud floated above them, but just nearby was a hole right through the cloud. "That's where we go, up that hole," said Joe. "See that branch that goes up the hole? Come on." They all went up the last and topmost branch of the faraway tree. It went up and through the purple hole into the cloud. At the very end of the branch was a little ladder. Joe climbed the ladder, and suddenly his head poked out into the land of Topsy-Turvy. Then one by one all the others followed, and soon all seven of them stood in the curious land. Rick was not as used to strange lands as the others. He stood and stared with his eyes so wide open that it really seemed as if they were going to drop out of his head.